Hi everyone, welcome. Thank you for joining me on a Sunday. As a Christian, Sunday is usually my day of rest, but for the past 2 to 3 years, life and things have just always worked out where I usually rest or do leisure activities on a Saturday, and Sundays and Mondays are my busiest days of the week. This weekend had just been hell. From Friday afternoon all the way to where I am finally sitting on my backside for the first time this weekend. Accounts needed to be paid, a little bookkeeping done, or a minor budget recalculation was necessary. The cupboards were bare, so grocery shopping was on the priority list, and believe me, I hate grocery shopping. Then Dragonman informed me that his glasses broke, so I took that in on Saturday morning and was informed that fixing it would be a temporary measure and that it would not last. We went a-hunting for a similar frame so they could just pop the lenses over, but no dice. Out of stock. Anyway, a new frame and having lenses cut to fit would cost the same as having an eye test, new frame and new lenses. And Dragonman is due for an eye test anyway. So there we go. An appointment for Tuesday. And then, worse than all of it put together, Yellow Dog Akira and Red Dog Haley got into a fight over a piece of what looked like cat dropping, and Akira nearly killed Haley. I spent a good couple of hours up and down to the vet. Blood was everywhere from outside where the fight started into the kitchen, the walls, the washing machine, everywhere. In the process, my daughter fell and hurt her arm. I fell and hurt my already painful back and got bitten by one of the dogs. Now, all of that aside, I am so incredibly sad because this is the second time it got this bad, and clearly the current situation is not going to work. But what to do? Yellow Dog is a big dog who clearly does not really tolerate other dogs much. At the same time, we have spoiled her with treats and sleeping on our beds, etc. I mean, who's going to take her and allow the same thing? I've been crying on and off for 24 hours now because I do not know what to do. If any of you have any ideas, please let me know. She's young and healthy, so I cannot even imagine euthanizing her. If anyone has any advice, I will gladly listen. Anyway, let's get down to doing our due diligence today and talk about the royals. The royal family, of course, and the not-so-royals. So Harry and Meghan released this long, boring statement on their Archwell website referring to their visit to Colombia. I'm sorry, guys, but halfway through, I started yawning and then I couldn't remember what I already read. It went something like, "We're deeply moved. Archwell, positive change, Afro-descendant woman, voice, equity, Duchess of Sussex, shining a spotlight, youth empowerment, positive change," I think for a second time, dedication, passion, equitable and compassionate. Yeah, I heard it all before. Same gobbledygook, different day. Yes, I'm afraid that no word salad on their website will change the public's perceptions or hide the fact that Colombia spent millions on their visit. Anyway, today we'll call it Random Sunday, as I help Dragonman with his geography project, the cut and paste stuff at least, and that took us until now, which is about 4:15. So truthfully, I'm lazy and not feeling up to in-depth research. So let's just comment on chats I had with some of you via DM and email. One discussion I had relates to the video I made titled Archie Missing Again, and we talked about how much we think the King and other royals must know about Archie and Lily. And you know, when the subject comes up, we always think about the most complicated possible scenarios. Yes, we think about things like MI5 and MI6, but let's look at the simplest of scenarios. King Charles, like his mother, reads a few newspapers every morning. So he reads and sees the exact same headlines we do. King Charles's special birthday gift for Princess Lilibet, despite getting no invite from Harry, and allegedly King sent Lily a custom-made cubby house. Yes, all according to Tom Quinn, and by now you should know how much I trust and believe Tom Quinn. The other headlines are things like King Charles is desperate to bond with grandchildren Archie and Lilibet, Prince Harry's kids. Yes, another article by Tom Quinn, and it tells how the king may be scheduling a visit to California. Yes, in your dreams. Now, our common sense tells us it is most likely all BS. But the point I want to make is that the king sees the exact same headlines and rubbish as we do, and he knows better than we do which are true and which are pure fantasy. And why? Well, because it concerns him, and surely he knows what he's doing or where he was better than any of us. Now, I know the Queen said recollections may vary, but what has Charles said so far? Nothing. So my simple answer to the DM was that King Charles likely knows everything, or definitely more than we do. Okay, and then I had a fairly long discussion about Harry's visa. Of course, it's all speculation until we either know what Judge Nichols's order was all about or when he finally makes a ruling. But some of you have delved a little deeper and thought a little out of the box instead of going along with what mainstream media and the rest of the sheep are feeding us, and came up with some more and valid questions. It is true that the Queen removed Harry's protection and his HRH styling after the Brexit agreement. So at that point, when Mr. Henry and his family left Britain, he was effectively no longer a government official. Because, I mean, you can have a list of titles as long as your arm, but if you're not actively working for government or then the monarchy in Britain, you are no longer a government official. We know of many other titled royals who are not representing their country or their monarch and who may or may not live in other countries. And in the case of all of them, they either lose their titles or they maintain their titles, but they are removed from the line of succession. I mean, there's people like Prince Dmitry of Yugoslavia, who has lived in New York since 1984 and has a jewelry brand based there. Then there's Princess Maku of Japan, who married a commoner, and they also moved to New York after they got married. Her husband works at a New York law firm. Then there is Prince Joel from Ethiopia, the great-grandson of Emperor Haile Selassie. He is a lawyer, married his American wife in Maryland, and settled in Washington. There's also Princess Maria Olympia of Greece and Denmark, who also lives in New York. Now, I am willing to bet that none of these royals are in the United States on an A1 visa. And why? Well, because they no longer represent their country or their government. As easy as that. Now, none of these retired royals go on fake tours either. None of them interfere in American politics, and none of them run around slandering their family to any news outlet who will pay them a buck. No, they have careers or their own businesses and just go about their lives just like anyone else, maybe just with a little bit more money or a little bit more fame, or at least an invite or two to events hosted by the higher society people, or then something like an invite to a fashion show or two. Otherwise, they just go about their business. But not Harry and Meghan. Oh no, they did not want to be royals anymore, but they still create their own royal tours, still float from one talk show to another interview, and from another interview to another talk show. And more ridiculous than anything else, Harry and Meghan still want to be called by their titles. Oh, I mean, what would Markle be if she can't call herself Duchess Meghan? I know for a fact that nobody working with him even knew that Joel McConnell was a prince, including his fiancée, until he eventually took her home to meet the family. Can you imagine that surprise? Had Harry and Meghan done that, approached their new life that way, I think they would have been so much better off and much more popular. But no matter how much they say they hate the monarchy, they can't seem to tear themselves away from it. Anyway, guys, that's about it from me for today. I finally started working on that bonus material. So if life gives me a break this week, we can all look forward to some cool stuff. And guys, as we approach the last months of 2024, I really want to run a competition again, but not until we reach 50,000 subscribers. So if you haven't subscribed yet, please do. You never know. You may walk away a winner this time. Okay, guys, so off I go. God willing, I'll see you all right back here tomorrow. So until then, please take good care of yourselves. Bye.